Welcome to Pegwarmers. I'm Kevin, and I'm here to talk about toys. And I am so excited about some of the G.I. Joe classified news from SDCC that I needed to get on and talk about it. It's going to be kind of a quick video, hopefully, just to kind of catch up on some of the G.I. Joe news. So some of the news is visualizations of things that we've heard rumors about or we've seen some basic art for. Some things are all new, and there were also a few name-dropped releases that haven't had renders released yet. First up would be the Tripwire figure that is already up for pre-sale on Pulse. He is a pretty good update of that original figure. He comes with a rat this time, trained to sniff out bombs, and a robot, which is cleverly named McLeod, which is the last name of the inker on many of the early G.I. Joe artwork by Herb Trimpe, so that's a nice nod there. Tripwire was an early figure from '83, I believe. You know, a classic green guy with a helmet. This time we get a removable helmet, so it's a really nice upgrade of the character. The Cobra Crimson Strike Force, which comes with Tomax and Xamot and the Baroness in red. It's pretty much what we expected, based on a G.I. Joe Collector's Con pack from years ago. Comes decked out with lots of different weapons. There's a pet snake in there, or maybe it's just that snake weapon that Baroness had, bike. But it looks like a pretty good set. This might be one I pass on just because I'm trying to limit the repaints that I'm buying. But it's a great looking set, and they're making a lot of Crimson figures to go along with it. General Hawk was one of the last bits of news that I heard out of SDCC. This is a figure that my buddy Ryan had mentioned a while back on older videos we have done on the classified line, and definitely a character I want because I love 1986. He's got gloves this time, which is a little bit different there. He's got quite an arsenal of weapons for a general. I kind of wish these guys came with backpacks more often instead of so many guns, because I can't have them hold all the guns, but a backpack, to me, is a nice accessory. We're getting Shockwave. We'd already had this teased as a Night Force figure. Now we're getting the standard release. Again, no backpack here, but he's got a baton, he's got some knives, he's got some guns, and a riot shield. The riot shield's pretty cool. It makes me think of the later SWAT guy that came with the pet dog from the Venom vs. Valor era, but still a good figure. I wish he came with, like, the battering ram, because Shockwave is specifically a door kicker, and I think the battering ram would be really cool for him. We're getting Agent Helix. She was a new character during the live-action movie days, a debuted as an action figure, and then got some comic book support. She comes with several swords. I mean, I know she's good at hand-to-hand combat, but I don't necessarily think of her as a ninja, but she's decked out like that. She also comes with some guns. I always thought of her as sort of like a Deadshot kind of character. As for Cobras, we're finally getting the Dreadnoks, with Ripper and Buzzer being shown. Ripper's got his Jaws of Life and his gun with the bayonet, as well as a few other weapons, and Buzzer has his chainsaw and his sickle weapon, as well as some other crazy melee items. These guys look fantastic, and Torch was one of the name-dropped figures that doesn't have a render yet. We have two Python Patrol figures coming out. They're quickly blowing through all the Python Patrols, but, you know, that's an easy repaint for Hasbro after they release the regular figure, or before they release the regular figure. We've got Copperhead, that amazing figure, getting repainted. He's the only real, like, character in Python Patrol from the original line. He's getting accompanied by the Cobra Trooper, which is the predominantly black uniformed, you know, like blue shirt type character that has the stripes on his webbing and his knee pads and stuff, which is a great looking figure. Again, I'm trying to limit the repaints, but because these guys are vintage figures and Python Patrol is such a cool sub-team, I kind of like them. But in honesty, I think my favorite thing about Python Patrol was actually the vehicles. The vehicles just looked really great and were more unified than the figures were. Then there were two vehicles announced for classifieds, and the Vamp is fantastic. So we're getting a Vamp with Clutch. Clutch is one of my favorite G.I. Joes, and the Vamp is such an iconic vehicle. A lot of people thought this might be the next HasLab, and I'm kind of glad that we're getting this not as a HasLab. It's cool that it's something that they have enough confidence in that they're going to put it out without it being backed, without it being a funding kind of structure with the crowdfunding. The other project, which I find very interesting, is the SMS, which is a Cobra version of the G.I. Joe MMS. And this was a black and red missile system that could be towed by an exclusive version of the Hiss back in the vintage days. And a couple of my buddies and I were discussing this being a tier to unlock with the Hiss HasLab. So it's interesting here that it's its own release, and it's coming with a cool Techno Viper in the colors of that Cobra Fire team. So I assume we'll get a traditional purple Techno Viper at some point. We're mentioning the Cobra Fire team. Those guys are up for pre-order along with Tripwire currently. You're getting some Cobra Troopers and a Range Viper in special Hiss tank colors to go along, I believe, with that Tactician figure that was announced as part of the HasLab bonus. The name-only reveals from SDCC included Torch, the only Dreadnought that we haven't seen a render for so far, which is great to know we're getting all three of them. Jinx, the G.I. Joe Ninja. I was just joking with a buddy of mine that Emily's going to have to really start digging deep to find more female characters once she gets Jinx made. They already did Shooter, who's a deep cut, and they've made a female character in almost all the Troop Builder packs recently. They've announced a Retro Scarlet, which is great, and we'll use that Glenda body we're getting with the HasLab Dragonfly. And they've announced a Retro Duke, which makes total sense. That first wave of characters, a lot of those guys deserve a redo in a more traditional G.I. Joe standpoint, especially Scarlet and Duke, because they're just so core to the brand. Alright guys, in the comments down below, let me know what figures you're most excited about. I am dying to know when the Comic-Con exclusive Chuckles will go up for sale, because I need one of those in my collection, and I'm very nervous about getting my hands on one. So we'll see what happens there. Good luck to all of you guys if you're hunting for him, and thanks for hanging on the peg with me.